HS does not know what habeas corpus is. I'm not kidding. I have concrete evidence of this. She said it live on fucking C-SPAN. The head of the Department of Homeland Security in the United States of America does not know what habeas corpus is. And just so you know, the writ of habeas corpus is the sole thing preventing you from being black-bagged in the middle of the night and arrested for no reason whatsoever. No court date, thrown in a fucking cell, that's it. Habeas corpus has only been suspended during times of war. For example, the Civil War, Abraham Lincoln, when half the fucking nation seceded. Anyway, we're going to watch this. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It costs you nothing and it helps me immensely.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning.
Good morning.
Madam Secretary. Secretary Noem, the White House Deputy Chief of Staff recently said that the Trump administration is actively looking at suspending habeas corpus. Last week you were asked about this, and I want to clarify your position because it's obviously really important to get this right. So, Secretary Noem, what is habeas corpus?
Well, habeas corpus is a constitutional right that the president has to be able to remove people from this country.
No, Wrong. Wrong. I don't think this dumb laminated-faced cunt even graduated high school. I mean, I'm sure she fucking did. She's a rich white lady. But this stupid fucking bitch does not know what habeas fucking corpus is. This is... I can't explain to you how detrimental this is. I cannot explain to you how fucked we are. Okay? That is a level of fucked that the United States has never experienced before in our entire history.
Suspend their right
let me stop you, ma'am. Habeas
right
corpus, excuse me, that's incorrect.
President
habeas
Lincoln
corpus,
used it.
Excuse me. Habeas corpus is the legal principle that requires that the government provide a public reason for detaining and imprisoning people. If not for that protection, the government could simply arrest people, including American citizens, and hold them indefinitely for no reason. Habeas corpus is the foundational right that separates free societies like America from police states like North Korea. As a senator from the Live Free or Die state, this matters a lot to me and my constituents and to all Americans. So, Secretary Noem, do you support the core protection that habeas corpus provides, that the government must provide a public reason in order to detain and imprison someone?
Yeah, I support habeas corpus. I also recognize that the President of the United States has the authority under the Constitution to decide if it should be suspended or not.
It has never
Let us be clear, though,
it has never been done. It has never been done without approval of Congress. Even Abraham Lincoln got retroactive approval from Congress. So I have been asking executive branch nominees a simple question over the past few months. If the president orders them to break the law, I've been asking, will you follow the law or follow the order? I want to ask you a more specific question here. If the president tries to suspend habeas corpus and a federal court reverses the president's order, will you comply with the court order and uphold habeas corpus, or will you follow the president's directive?
Now, here's the thing, guys. She's not even going to answer the question. The answer to the question is she will do whatever Trump says because she is a fucking boot-licking bitch and she loves her orange cult leader. But she's not going to answer the question. I'm willing to bet money on this.
We are following all federal court orders and are complying with that, as is the president, and every decision that I make as well.
That is obviously not true for anybody who reads the news. There are federal court orders right now, including returning somebody who was deported mistakenly. But to be clear, this is about a fundamental legal right that ensures that we live in a free society instead of a police state that would have a sham legal system like Russia or North Korea. So I'm glad that you have now committed to following court orders. I'm glad you believe in the basic freedom for Americans if ordered to do so by a court. And again, I want just to make clear that it is critically important that even if the president tries to suspend the right of people to know why they've been detained or imprisoned, if a federal court reverses that order, that you will follow that order, and I hope all members of the administration will, because it's obviously critical that some of the people, for instance, who've been deported by mistake, who didn't get due process, be returned in compliance with court orders. So now, let's move on to another issue. International criminal organizations target Americans with sophisticated cyber crime, including elaborate scams that robbed Americans of billions of dollars, with seniors in the United States losing $5 billion to scammers in 2024 alone. As artificial intelligence improves, so does the ability of criminals to deceive and defraud Americans. With this new technology, criminals can impersonate loved ones, develop advanced malware, or make more convincing phishing messages. How is DHS working to identify trends in illegal activity and ensure that new AI systems have safeguards in place to prevent their use in criminal activity?
Yes, we are working extensively through CISA, but in all of our agencies to make sure that we're going after these criminal, nefarious actors. I would say partnering with private industry is critically important so that we have the insight that we need to really understand the tactics that they use and the advancements in software. The AI ability that they have to adjust and to supersede some of our systems is incredible. And so investing in those systems is important, but also having the knowledge and bringing everybody to the table and breaking down the silos between our agencies and our
Tanner just said she's so hot. This woman who has more plastic in her body than Mattel Toy Company is hot? Oh my God, Koofs agrees. Dude, Republicans are so fucking gross. They look at a woman like this and think they're hot.
Intelligence agencies is important, so we all have the information that we need to get.
Well, and that gets me to one final point and question here, because Senator Peters began to ask about it. There's been recent reporting that indicates that the Chinese government installed remote access to Chinese-made power inverters in the U.S., raising concerns that the Chinese government could try to disable parts of our power grid. And you made a comment following up on Senator Peters' question about the importance of not only working with private industry on this issue, as you would also want to work on AI, but also on working with state and local governments on cybersecurity. And can you just talk to me a little bit about how DHS is partnering with state and local governments right now on cyber?
Well, that's one of the core critical missions of CISA, is to help those state and local governments harden their systems. We're extremely vulnerable by our weakest link. And so when you have a small state that doesn't have the resources it needs to invest in these security operations, then they're vulnerable to attacks and hacking attempts, and they can access our systems if they have a contract or a system that interfaces with the federal system.
I think the rest of this is just some stupid shit about AI. But listen, you heard what I heard. Kristi Noem does not know what habeas corpus is, and she's willing to fucking permanently suspend it if Trump gives her the illegal order to do it, and she's willing to usurp federal courts if they order them to undo that order. So, listen, democracy is gone. The separation of powers is gone. Checks and balances is gone. He's not a president. He's an authoritarian dictator surrounded by yes men and sycophants. If you're watching this live, you stay. If you're watching this pre-recorded on YouTube, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. It costs you nothing, and it helps me immensely. Don't forget to click that video right over there. I promise you, it's a fucking banger.